Hello, welcome back to 100 to 1 podcast. Myself, DJ Rex. Who else we got in the building this week?
Got your boy Nams in the building. What's going on, people?
Yeah, it's Rose, Blue Badge King, BBK like shorty.
I didn't even clock you saying BBK.
So you keeping that moniker, yeah? Blue Badge King?
Yeah, man, until I'm dethroned, bro, man, I'm BBK for life.
You know, should we start off with last week's bets and how you got on last week? I know,
Yeah.
Rose, hand this over to you, son.
Yeah. I posted some stuff on our Twitter, to be honest, over the week, but I've been trying to land this well, but I've been mixing up my approach this season rather than just hunting the white whale exclusively. Been doing big ones, small ones, and as I said in one of the earlier episodes, I'm being a bit more ruthless when it comes to these cash outs as well. So I probably made about 450 over the last week in cash outs, which I'm pleased with, because it's like if my losses, bruv, my misses are kind of paying for themselves, which is the strategy I want, basically, which is that's what I'm going for. It takes it's a balancing act, because obviously if you're in bets to try and win big money, you don't want to always just be leaving with small money, but it's a fine line, and sometimes you've got to make decisions, and just experience as well. Doing these bets over and over again, you start to learn in your heart when you're just praying for a miracle to happen. If all these 6 people score now in the next 10 minutes, you never know. So it rarely happens. It doesn't happen.
Never happens.
Take some of the money. So, but in terms of more detail, I've been to continue with my golf club analogy, I've been using my the handicaps. I am the Blue Badge King after all. I've been using the handicaps. I've been combining them a little bit with just sometimes match results. And another one I like to do is both teams to score in over 2.5. That was the evolution for me, from both score no draw. Been caught out a few times over the years. Those 2-2s will get you. So I decided to switch it to both teams to score over 2.5. Similar odds as well. Covers the 2-2. So basically that's my strategy. So I had a combination of the two. I had about 3 or 4 bets that I missed by one. I've had bets where I've got all of the results but not necessarily the winning margin. So quite pleased with that. And yeah, I'm optimistic for the weekend ahead, and for the season ahead.
450 on an international week is I think that's great returns, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think with the internationals, with certain types of bets, internationals have a lot of opportunity, I think. And this is again back to my sort of golf club analogy. When it comes to internationals, and over the years I've been like this, I don't complicate my international bets too much. But generally speaking, it takes a lot for an international upset. That's one thing I've realized. Underdogs don't really beat the big teams as frequently as it will happen at top club level football. It takes a lot for an international upset. So I play with the odds on that. Generally, the favorite will win. And so I think that there's opportunity in a handicap option. But I'll delve deeper into that when we dissect the bets and the science in the next show. But I think that the international games do have some opportunity, basically, in terms of, I think that they're a little bit more simplified in how they flow compared to top level league football, where it's almost difficult to predict what's going to happen, even between a Manchester United and a Southampton in detail, unless you might want to go just Manchester United to win. By hook or by crook, they probably should. Beyond that, it's hard to say what's going to happen, and anything can happen, and including them not even winning. Whereas, a Norway against the Finland and England against the Finland, for them to avoid defeat is extremely unlikely. Yeah, that's it.
I hear it. Okay, cool. All right, let's roll on with this week's news in football.
I'll let you start this one, Nams.
Well, Where North London derby, you know, it's what we live for.
Early this season, we've had United, Liverpool already. We've had, you know, obviously the North London derby. What other ones? We had any other real big ones?
Tottenham, not Tottenham. Man City, Chelsea first day. That was a big one.
City, Chelsea first day. So we're, you know, had to hit the ground running. All the big, like, these are some of the biggest fixtures on the calendar. Thrown up in the first month. We love it.
So yeah, man, Sunday's a massive game. Obviously, if you follow the Arsenal fans on Twitter and online presence, there's been a bit of a meltdown with the injuries that we've had, with Rice getting banned. Of course, it was a ridiculous ban. We understand that, but everyone's thinking.
I'm not sure we understand that, but you know,
it's ridiculous. But these referees, they're not doing their job properly.
Is it ridiculous to the referees? Is it ridiculous to Declan Rice? Is it like, I don't know if I don't think it's an outrageous decision. It's like it's unfortunate, but I don't think he left the referee too much choice.
Come on, Rose, man. He just flicked it, man. Come on.
Yeah, but my point is, flicking what he did.
That's nasty work,
what he did, getting booked for it. Like the referee's like, I mean, what do you want me to do? Like he's telling Rice, like, I mean, I got like literally this guy's about to kick the ball, you kicked it away. Like,
no, he's not kicked. He just done a little flick, but come on.
No, but you don't have to kick it the length of the field. The man is about to play the ball and you've kicked it. Like, so you've moved it and now he's missed the ball. Like, it's just it's just stupid. You can stand in front of a guy taking a throw in and just do that, block him. It's not. You haven't caught the ball and thrown it. It's just a booking. Like, and it's just a stupid of Rice. And I expect better from Rice as well. Why would you kick the ball away just as someone's about to kick it? So I don't think. Look, the referee could have decided to overlook it, but all this narrative about is some sort of ridiculous decision, totally unjustified. I'm not accepting that. It was stupid of Declan Rice. And in the letter of the law, I don't think he left the referee much choice. I don't think the referee wanted to do it, but it's like, well, would you want me to, like, would you, like, you're making it hard for me here. Like, the blame lies with Rice for me.
Fair enough. We have to agree to disagree. I think it was a stupid decision. I think a little bit of common sense on the referee's side, you know, would have been encouraged. But all this, you know, conspiracy theories that I'm hearing on, the refs always against Arsenal. No, let's just stop all that nonsense.
What would a I don't know. Anyway, I was thinking, why would it have been common sense to not book him? Yeah, like someone is, if Veltman, I believe it was, is literally foot cut back to kick the ball. It's petulant of Declan Rice. You've basically his instinct took over and he couldn't help it. His petulance nicked the ball away. So now you've missed the kick. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to kick the ball. You've nicked it away. Not the length of the field. You've just moved it. The fact that that's not the length of the field almost underlines, I think it makes it even worse, because it underlines your purpose is I'm just basically moving the ball so you can't from you as you're about to kick it. That's my purpose. It's not about anything else. I'm just, you're trying to kick it, so I've just kicked it away. Like, I've nicked it out of your park. Why did you do that? Like, basically, you're gonna get booked for that, and now you're booked for it, and it's like, oh my gosh, like.
Yeah, look at Veltman. Look at the exaggeration, the kick. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's different. But he didn't get booked for that. He didn't get booked in and of itself. That, I mean, what Rice did was, for me, was stupid. I would have been furious if one of my players got themselves out of a big game for such stupidity. That sort of thing. People are now saying that it's outrageous, right? And I'll say this, because it's Declan Rice as well. You changed this, and that was Mario Balotelli. The narrative would be completely different. It's how stupid he is, to make such a decision. Like, now he's out of a Manchester derby, stupid Balotelli. That's what they would have said. Paul Pogba, stupid.
And you know what? That's when personality is coming to it as well, right?
It's right. Now with Rice, it's apparently some sort of common sense thing.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But yeah, anyway, we have to agree to disagree on that one. It was stupid, but now he's out of a big game. But yeah, if you look at the temperature of the Arsenal fans online, bro, the panic is ridiculous, bro. Like, I just like, cool, okay, there's no Rice. I get it. Odegaard got injured. I get it. But the meltdown has been far exaggerated way too much. Like, I think we've got a decent squad. I think we've got good players to kind of come in. I think the biggest thing from my perspective is I'm really, really keen to see what Mikel Arteta does with this team now, because I have no clue I've got a general clue of who's going to play in the middle, but the back and forth between should Ranieri play the 17-year-old, putting him into his first game as a North London derby, that's crazy. And then you got people saying, if he's good enough, he's old enough, and all that kind of stuff, bro. There's context. Like sometimes you can't. There's certain games, but then I think about Rashford all them years ago. I'm pretty sure that was his against Arsenal. Was that his first professional or his first like Man United?
His first Premier League. So he had made his debut about 3 days earlier in the Europa League, which is scored in on that one. Okay. And then he made his Premier League debut against Arsenal.
Yeah, at home, and he scored 2 goals, right?
Yeah,
I remember that one.
It needs must at that time as well.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's not too dissimilar. I mean, he was whether it was the 3rd or the 4th choice striker at that time, and unfortunately, the first 3 were injured. So, like, needs must. And I think Arsenal find themselves in a similar situation with regards to Ranieri. They could move certain things around.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different. I think we do have more scope to tweak things a little bit. With Man United at the time, that was definitely needs must. He had to start, but once again,
so what would you suggest they would do? You bring Saka inside.
But the thing is, Saka can do that job, bro. Like people are just
Saka can do the job.
But they're sleeping on him. They think he's just a winger, but Saka can play externally. He can play externally and he can play internally as well, basically. But do you want to kind of disrupt the rhythm that he's got with Ben White on that right hand side? So for me, what I think Arteta is going to do is probably he's going to go with Timber left back. He's going to go with the normal centre back, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White right back, obviously Ray and goal. He's going to go with experience. He'll go Jorginho and Partey in the middle. Yeah, he'll go Partey and Jorginho in the middle. That makes more sense. And then what he'll probably do is he'll drop Havertz into a kind of cam kind of role, because Havertz likes to do that kind of full striker, 10, 9.5 in between. If he does that, that means he's probably going to have to play. JG's probably won't be fit. Or he won't be fit enough to play 90 minutes. So he might probably do the whole Trossard 9, Havertz, them two kind of interchange. And then he'll go with Martinelli on the left probably. And then he'll go with, obviously, Saka on the right. And that's what I think Arteta is going to do. Now, what I'd personally do is, if Calafiori's about, well, let's play this guy, man. You know, let's put him left back.
He's injured as well, is he not?
Nah, he's got a calf injury, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine personally. But if he's around, I'll put Calafiori left back. And yeah, Jorginho and Partey can do the middle, but bruv, I like Timber, bruv. Like Timber's like he's an old school Ajax player, but he can play different positions, bruv. He's confident with the ball, he's aggressive, like he's got legs. With Partey now in his old age, bruv, you need legs next to him, bruv, realistically. So for me,
I don't like the idea of Partey and Jorginho. I think it surrenders the initiative to Spurs. It already says, okay, this is what we are coming here to react, not to be the protagonists. There's only so much they can do with it. Greatest respect to the two of them. But the flip side, where I feel like you can say, if you do want to play Nwaneri, then I think that is a foundation that maybe allows you to play Nwaneri. In a sense that you have Partey, Jorginho, a lot of experience, a lot of seniority around. That is a midfield we need to put him in, basically, or we can put him in with the OGs around him that can kind of show him the ropes. You know, people like Jorginho have been around the block. You know, Wiley Old Fox. And I feel like, you know, I do think I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Nwaneri. I think I watched Nwaneri in preseason. I like what I saw, but just secondly, I just think, just historically, if what Arsenal think of this kid, you mentioned Rashford as an example, but there's been countless others. These are the moments when you could, you know, Raheem Sterling himself. You know, these are the moments. Like if you're one of those players, then you know I've seen him start them in big games, derbies, cities. Rashford started against City, I think the week after, you know, away at City, and scored the winner the week after the Arsenal one. I mean, fair enough, it was down to injuries, but we're in the same situation now. You know, do you want to keep Saka, Havertz in their strongest positions as well?
For me, like I saw Ranieri in preseason. I watched a bit of the tour when I was out in the US. And at the end of the day, like we all love football, in it. We know when we see a baller in it, and it's not just about tricks and flicks. It's the subtle things in it. How does he use his body? How does he take the ball? How does he receive the ball? How does he spin on the turn? And you got to realize this guy's 17, innit? But we let Smith Rowe go. We let Fabio Vieira go. Like these guys, they were just like, I remember I saw another podcast. The guy mentioned it properly. He said they're fake depth. And I couldn't think of a better term, but it's fake depth, bro. It's fake depth because realistically, when we need the depth, bro, Mikel don't use them, man. He'll burn the foot. He'll burn the
firstly, that was injured. Like Smith Rowe is never really there anyway. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fake depth because they're never either unavailable or Mikel don't trust them. So it's just fake. Yeah. It's not. It's imaginary, isn't it? But with Ranieri, he's 17, like, but he's an Arsenal fan. He's been here, like, he signed that contract. Chelsea are trying to get him. Like, we've shown faith and obviously keep him at the club, giving him the big money. And Mikel must believe in him, bro. He must believe in him. Now, for me, if it was at home, I'd definitely say start him. Away, it's a bit tricky, but at the same time, you're going to need
a guys that are making of these kids.
Yeah, no, it's true. And the thing is, if it doesn't go well, cool. Like with the fans, the team, everyone's still going to be behind him. Like everyone's going to have to make sure that we get behind him because it's obviously going to be a lot for a 17-year-old to maybe have a bad game, like, man. But there's so many, elements to this, like. But I would be tempted to start him. I really would be because it'll give us that kind of, fluency that we're kind of looking for. He's the most natural heir to what Odegaard kind of does. And obviously, he's got that burst of acceleration as well. But me personally, bruv, I'll put Sterling on that left-hand side, bruv, man. I'd go straight with Sterling, bruv, man.
That was the question I was going to ask. That was going to be my next question in a straight choice between Sterling and Martinelli.
Straight in, bruv. I see Raheem. He was Jamaica.
Over Martinelli.
Over Martinelli.
Yeah,
Raheem's ready, bruv. I'm telling you, put him over. Because for me, I just think, especially if you've got Jorginho and Partey deep in midfield, bruv, they ain't really going to be running around, bruv. Jorginho's going to be getting them boys, going to be pinging it. He's going to be trying to dictate the play, basically. So if that's the case, we're going to need someone in the right space, the right 8 space, in Ranieri to pick up the ball. And for me, bruv, we're going to have to do a bit of counter-attacking, bruv. So Saka, we know Tottenham come aggressive, halfway line. There's going to be a high line, bruv. You can say what you want about Sterling, bruv, but his runs and getting into the positions to score is one of the best in the game, bruv. So for me, and you leave Havertz up top as well. For me,
so you don't start Leandro?
Nah, I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't. I know it sounds harsh, but I wouldn't. And it's a very controversial one with Arsenal fans because Leandro always comes on and scores, and then we're thinking next game he's got to start. But when he starts, he's never that good. But at the same time, if you want anyone to get a chance, you want it to be him. So he's a bit of an enigma, if I'm being honest with you. I can't. Yeah, for me in this game personally, Havertz has to start top. Saka's got to be right. I think you've got to go with the pace of Sterling and the running power and how he makes the runs. And Ranieri just to knit it together, and then the two elder men in the midfield to kind of dictate the play, bruv. And with that lineup, bruv, there's no reason why we shouldn't be, trying to get a win here. Like, I don't want to hear no crying about injuries and blah, blah, blah. If we're a title winning team, bro, you're going to get injuries and you have to deal with it. And you still have to go and get the result that. So I'm expecting 3 points, man.
And, we've spoken a lot about.
Huh?
So your prediction is 3 points, yeah? Straight.
I'm expecting 3 points, bro. I'm not like, cool. We're going to have to ride some moments. And look, Tottenham are going to come out. They're going to be singing, where the Spurs go. They're going to be, all that good stuff. Great. Fantastic. They're going to be charging. We know how it goes, bro. The first 15, 20 minutes, bro, we're going to be under the cosh. And we just got to make sure we keep it tight, bro. But as soon as we get a bit of rhythm together, the stadium goes quiet, bro, and get into our flow. Trust me, lad, the man will trust themselves, lad. So for me, bruv, I ain't lowering my standards, bruv. We are a title challenging team. And if Man City go to Tottenham without De Bruyne, they're expecting 3 points regardless, bruv. So what, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta know about Odegaard. If we stay with it,
I think if Man City go to Tottenham with De Bruyne, even with De Bruyne,
it's not a guarantee.
It's one of those games that Arsenal are looking at thinking this is one of those games.
It's tough.
Are they going away to White Hart Lane? We've been watching this one. They're going away to White Hart Lane in 3 weeks. I'm hoping that that's the one we put on our calendar that City might drop something. So it's not implausible. It's not implausible. But obviously Arsenal, I understand what you're saying. Arsenal have to go into it with the intention of winning the game.
Of course.
That needs to be there. They need those 3 points just as much as they need the next ones, and they can't, they need to go in them to win it. But I mean, we've obviously spoken about the red corner quite a bit. In the white corner, how do you see Spurs shaping up for this game?
I ain't gonna lie, but I ain't gonna say I agree with Namdi that these men are coming for the 3 points. But watching that Newcastle game, I don't know, man. I feel like we ain't gonna be clinical enough to really get the 3 points ourselves. That's my worry. And
I feel like, I mean, obviously, there's an element of with these games, it's very difficult
you have
to
to take your
apply.
chances.
It's very difficult to apply narrative and context to these games. Certain, these games are kind of entities in and of themselves, and it's hard to really carry things from previous fixtures to apply them to this one. Like, like the last 2 weeks they've been this, so this is a different type of game. But I'm not sure about Spurs yet this season. I don't think they've really arrived yet. I haven't been fully convinced. I think this game has probably come a bit too early for both teams. Earlier than they would have liked to. I think Spurs are still figuring their thing out. But what I've seen in experience is games like this move people's preparation on sometimes, because it's like you have to be ready. Like, there's games like this, teams have been playing poorly, but you've got the biggest game now. You pull out the performance. So with Spurs, I'm not sure. Solanke, for me, he still needs a bit of time to settle there, and but this could also be the game.
That game,
this could be the game for him.
Always that game.
Where it's like, if he's going to really be that guy for Spurs, then these are the moments, and he could be that guy. I mean, look, common sense. You take away the emotion, you take away history and stuff. You have to give Spurs a decent shake, a decent chance at this game. I think at the moment they've got a strong team available to them. Pretty much their whole team is available. They're at home. Arsenal's team is severely depleted, and they're and Arsenal obviously away. So I just don't fully believe in Spurs. That's all. I don't fully believe in Spurs. It's been said before, by many people in the game.
I think it's going to be a 2-2. I'm going score draw. I think
I think if Arsenal get in front, I think Arsenal will hold out. I think Arsenal will hold out. I don't believe Spurs. I think Spurs. Yeah, I just I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was too dissimilar when Arsenal went to White Hart Lane last season at the back end. And I feel that they had players unavailable, if I remember correctly. It was in the middle of a tough week, a triple header with United, Chelsea, and Spurs. And Spurs were huffed and puffed, but they're not. I'm not convinced by them.
You know what? Obviously, last season, we had the end of the season, big games coming up. We had our full squad there, but I'm just going to latch on to what Rexy said in terms of Spurs missing their chance and not being clinical enough. What people don't realize is, if you go back to the game last year, bruv, like, okay, cool, Arsenal were 3-0 up at half time, but I think Spurs had a disallowed goal, and it was like a very, very tight offside. And I think they had some big chances as well, but they just didn't take them chances. And then I think obviously we got I think was our first goal. Was it a Saka counter attack? Was that the first goal of the game?
Yeah, I think it was a goalkeeping error.
It was a Saka corner and Romero own goal. Yeah. But before then, Tottenham had chances, bruv, and they had a disallowed goal as well. So, and with these games, bruv, and especially a lot of games, bruv, the first goal is so crucial, bruv. And I watched that Spurs game against Newcastle, bruv. The second half, Spurs absolutely battered Newcastle. You camped in their whole half, bruv, and you weren't creating like half kind of chances, not really, really proper chances. Like Brennan Johnson's so wasteful when he gets in those positions. Like his crosses are always so poor. Odegaard was just shooting and shooting and shooting. You had so many decent kind of half chances, but then you highline. All it took was one ball from Newcastle, cut straight through you, and that was it, done. So Arsenal got the game. The blueprint is theirs. That's what Spurs are gonna do. We know that Ange doesn't change the way highline for life, bro. He doesn't change the way he plays. He's gonna camp his guys highline, camp in our half. We've got to ride it, and that's why I said we need a counter-attacking threat, bro. Sterling's important.
I'm holding that hope for a draw. I know that's a Spurs thing to say.
I don't know if they're gonna camp in Arsenal's half either. Like, I don't know if they've got do they keep? I don't know if they can keep possession high enough against the Arsenal team. The midfielders, for me, I mean, they've got some good midfielders. The possession-based midfielders are young ones that probably won't play. If you play Bissouma, Sarr, I don't think they're good enough to play the game in Arsenal's half and keep the ball. Like, I can't see that happening. They can't keep his possession high enough against them. Arsenal have got that experience, those Jorginhos and stuff that I think, will basically keep the ball. I think they'll keep the ball. I don't think Spurs are a fast transition.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they can sustain a pressure against a team like Arsenal in their half and just keep the ball, keep it circulating it. I'm not sure. I'm with you, Nams. I think Arsenal get a result personally. I think Arsenal get a result. Might be a draw potentially, but I don't see Spurs beating Arsenal. I don't think Spurs. I don't think they believe it themselves either. Personally,
and it's so poor to say, and that's what bruv, supporting Spurs and Nigeria. Yeah, for stress for life, bruv. But bruv, if sometimes you just have to just be honest with yourself. I can't see us taking the 3 points. I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah, I can't see it. But the thing is, it's hard to explain because in theory, I feel that they should. But I don't see that.
I just don't think we believe in ourselves. And I can't see it being clinical.
100%, bro. Guy, look, I'm nervous already, but guys at Tottenham is always nasty because, bro, like you said, like they look. I rate what Andy's doing. Like you guys play good football, bruv, and you play front foot. They're gonna be attacking aggressively, bruv. And I can already see Party, bruv, just falling around, chasing guys back. So Tottenham are gonna be quite aggressive, like. But I think the big thing with us is as long as we ride that period where Tottenham are coming at us again and again, bruv. The first goal in this game is crucial, bro. In all of these games, the first goal is crucial. So ride that period, try and get the first goal, bruv. Take the sting out of the game, take the sting out of the atmosphere. And then I think Spurs will be Spurs, man. The rest should just be a formality, like, man. So
I think Arsenal defensively, I think that they got enough as well. I just think that Arteta, to his credit, has matured them. They've got a bit more sort of nous in terms of if they have to sit back, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Timber, I think that they'll keep Spurs. I think they'll keep them out. I think with Partey, Jorginho in front, it'll be a different type of Arsenal performance, but they will get their chances. And I think that they will deal with Spurs' attack.
To be honest, when I think about it more and more, that Partey Jorginho midfield, one of the things from a tactical perspective that I've seen so far this season is I'm not too sure why. When Partey's been sitting in the 6, like Rice has been far away from him, like in a advanced kind of left 8 position. So anytime attacks break down, we get counted on easy, and Partey looks like he's walking in mud, like he can't get back. So for me, at least I know if Jorginho is going to be there, Jorginho is going to be right next to him. So I think that's going to suit this game. And Jorginho, you can say what he wants, but the guy, intelligent footballer, bro. One touch, he can do controlling, he can ping them balls over the top for Havertz, Sterling, all them, man. So with Jorginho next to Partey, well, I think we can kind of control the tempo, control the pace of the game, and it gives me a little bit more solidity. They don't have the legs, but them man know they ain't got the legs, so they're not going to be so far advanced. They're going to be right next to each other, and then you got a strong defense behind. I say this game is a game we sit a little bit deeper, dictate when we need to, and then just spring on a break, man. Let's just Tottenham, like they're showing us how they can get beat. The high line's there for us, like just be smart about it. You get me? So yeah, I still feel confident.
All right, so we're going two of us are going Arsenal.
I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1. I don't know about 3-1.
I'm going 3-1 Arsenal.
I think 1-0 maybe if Arsenal win. Old school George Graham. I don't think Arsenal have got the resources to have their expensive best and win 3-1. I think Arsenal will soak it up, and I think that they would deal with the Spurs pressure. They would take their chance and hold out. I think 1-0. I think 1-0 Arsenal personally is what I'm going with that.
So from a betting perspective, what are we saying? Under 2.5.
I mean, it's hard to predict with a game like this, to be honest. It could be anything.
Derby, though.
Derby, from what I know, like I'm pretty sure it's I think Tottenham, Arsenal, and Arsenal Liverpool, some of the highest scoring games in Premier League history. I'm pretty sure everyone says that.
But I think this is a different type of derby in the sense that because Tottenham and Arsenal usually have both teams like with registering the same sort of interest in this game. I think tactically, Arsenal will approach the game differently. I don't think they've got. They've still got quite a few resources, but I feel they're going to play a more disciplined game. And I think if they get their goal, I think Tottenham are going to come at them, and I don't think they're going to be going blow for blow. I think they're going to try and be sensible, and I just think will they hold out? And I reckon they will. There'll be some scares, but I reckon I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal take their chance maybe in the second half, and then Spurs can't score.
And to be fair, when I think about the game last season, bro, like we didn't go for them, bro. We played a very deep block. We said Tottenham, you come to us, you try and break
Tottenham
us.
pretty much did themselves, like
Yeah,
from what I recall, like they were, the goals that they conceded. Arsenal didn't have to do too much, basically,
But the thing with Tottenham is, I think one thing that Ange's implemented, I'm very impressed at, is they can play out of the back very, very well. So, and I remember I saw that at Emirates, we were trying to press them like crazy, and I was like, whoa, these man are just playing around us for fun, like. So, I don't think we're going to go over an aggressive press. I think we're going to do like a mid block. We're going to sit there deep. We're going to say, Tottenham, can you break us down? Let's see what you got. And then we'll kind of just feel our way into the game and take it from there, like, man. But I don't know. I think there's going to be goals in this game, personally, like, and I think we're going to score more than them.
Just for context as well. So last season, 3-2.
Yeah.
And then 2-2.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 Premier League games before that, Arsenal 2-0, and then Arsenal 3-1. So normally
there's always goals. There's always goals, man.
Usually goals, but I don't know. I just got a feeling that Arsenal show a different side to themselves on Sunday, which will be a mature, resilient side. And I think they're going to have to win that game. I think they're going to have to. I don't think they've got enough to be the Arsenal that we've seen for the last 2 seasons. They can't. These games are all different. I don't think they've got the players available now to go and win 3, 2, 4. They can't. I don't think they can win it end to end. Like they can't go toe to toe. I think they're going to have to win the game, showing a different side to them. But I do think they've got that side, and I've shown it. I've seen them do it at City. I've seen them do it at Anfield in recent seasons. And I think that side is going to have to come out. They're going to have to get the points, and they're going to have to do what they got to do to get the points. But I don't think they're going to go for Spurs and blow them away. I think they've got too many players missing. Midfield, I don't like it.
Yeah, you know what? The lineup will dictate how I kind of feel. Yeah, the lineup will tell me a lot. So when the lineups come out, we'll see. We'll probably have an idea of what Arsenal are trying to do today, man.
But going forwards, with regards to Arsenal, obviously staying on topic. You've spoken about them obviously having to show their title winning credentials. Now, this is season 3 of that phase. The first season, the first 3 seasons before that, not so much. Now we're Arsenal family in a title chase now. They're hunting down the trophy. They're getting closer and closer. Which brings us to their show of faith this week in Mikel Arteta. I spoke to an Arsenal fan last season. I think it might have even been OG. He was, it was outrageous. He was saying, "Look, man, maybe this guy's got to go or something. I don't think he can win the title." And look, the thing is, I can't. It's a thought. It's an idea. Some people think, look, okay, keep clapping for second. It's not good enough. But I don't think there's different types of second, and he's raised the bar to a title winning level. He's raised the bar to a title winning level. It's not been a second that hasn't threatened first. They've been a title winning standard. So he's got another 3 years. Nams in it, to wrap this section up. What do you expect from those next 3 years? What do you think the minimum requirements are for Arteta over the next 3 seasons for him to be considered, for his time at Arsenal to be considered a success?
We are now going into the period where he has to deliver. He has to deliver the big ones, the big trophies, man. Either Premier League or Champions League, and he knows that himself. I feel like obviously there's a lot of debate online, and you see different people, their content saying Arteta right, blah blah blah. I don't think people really remember where we were 5 years ago, bruv. People have very short memories, bruv. Like 5 years ago, Arsenal were a joke of a club. Like we were banter. I couldn't even get a decent conversation from Rose. Like it was just so irrelevant. Like when the man was feeling sorry for you, there's nothing worse than apathy, bruv. And like when you're not fair and people are feeling sorry for you, then you're not a threat no more. You know what I'm saying? Like Rose just chuckled. He said, "Look at your boys. What's going on with these guys?"
And I remember just more sympathy than anything. Yeah. I didn't like it myself. Like it got to a point where it was like I don't want to see this either.
It's stuff for rivals, bro. This is what I'm saying. Rivals having pity on you is never a good sign. Like so, I just think 5 years ago we were in an absolute horrible position. And I always remember when I saw Arteta's press conference, I was like, "Raw." This guy, like, he's got presence, bro. He speaks properly, like he controls the room, like the message that he came across, like the things that he was saying. I was like, I thought, okay, either one thing, he's a great speaker, or like, you know what I'm saying, or he actually going to deliver something here. But I like the message he put across in terms of what he wanted to do from a cultural perspective, gut the club, change everything from inside out. And in the 5 years, bro, that people have to deep as well. This is his first managerial job, like. It's not a joke. Like, this is his first managerial job. It's like asking an amateur boxer to go to the heavyweight like in 6 months, basically, like, and just start fighting maybe Lennox Lewis and Tyson straight away. Like, it's ridiculous. But what
at
doing,
the same time, the question would be, I mean, yes, well done. It's his first professional job, but that's Arteta's problem. That's not Arsenal's problem.
Yeah. No,
if the objective is for us to win the league, and you're doing well for manager in his first job, that's nothing to do.
No.
You know what I mean?
I totally get
just saying that, throwing that as a devil's advocate. I don't think
100%, 100%, and that's the debate that we're always having. That's the polarizing that aspects that fans always going to and throwing back and forth with, because he's done an amazing job so far, but at the end of the day, we need to deliver. Like, we need those trophies. Like, Tottenham had a great team, a few years back with Pochettino, but you came second. It wasn't really a real second though, but you came second in it. But the Champions League final, like that was one of your best teams ever. Like, but that team's been forgotten about because you didn't win that Champions League against Liverpool. You didn't win the league, bruv. So Mikel Arteta, as long as he's done an amazing job so far, but we don't want to be the nearly men. But at the same time, I do have sympathy because you're dealing with a Man City team that Man City make you implode, bruv. Man City make your own fan base turn on each other, because now what they've got us doing is, because the levels that they've set and we have to kind of strive for perfection, like drawing a game feels like a defeat now. Like, going through a little bad period of form, you have fans thinking, "Oh, we lost the title." You have people having meltdowns. This is what Man City have done to your mentality, like. But
why can't Arsenal reach Man City's level?
Second,
why can't Arsenal reach Man City's level?
Why can't we?
Like, I feel like you've got to take what kind of form that Haaland is on. I don't think City's squad or their team is massively superior to the other teams.
Me personally, Rose, is mentality. I think that's for me right now the biggest
I'm making. So it's not unattainable in the sense that they've just how can we be expected to beat that team? That's not Barcelona's. It's not an all-time great 11 for me. There are players that I believe are comparable to the players that Arsenal have. So if they can reach these levels and not draw these games that you're talking about and have to and keep winning them, if that's where they set the bar, I don't see why Arsenal can't match it. If they can do it, then I think that these are not an inferior collection of players, give or take. The main differentiation of having a elite goal scorer. That's the key differentiation between them.
That's a big difference.
Other than that, no. For me, I don't think their team is necessarily better. I don't think their team is necessarily drilled better. I don't think their team was better last season than Arsenal either. I think Arsenal were the best team in the Premier League last season.
But two factors. Haaland,
having
those big chances, and the thing is, Haaland does miss chances. Like, there's this thing that he misses a lot of chances. But when the big chances tend to come, Haaland he rarely fails, man. And that's the issue. Sometimes when the big chances come with Arsenal, we don't quite take it. But onto my second point, mentality is the next step. 2 seasons ago, when we had Granit Xhaka in the team, no one expected us to challenge for the title. So that was like, I won't say a free hit, but it was like, wow, 8 games to go, we're still here, basically. Like, we all felt it was going to crumble, and it did crumble. So it's almost a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. Last season, we expected to challenge, and we challenged properly, innit? Let's be real. To win 16 out of your last 18 games and draw 1 and lose 1 and still don't win the league, that's what City have done to you now. We lost the league in the first half to Aston Villa. Let's be real. I remember that game. I remember it all the time, bro. We missed chance after chance after chance, bro. Apart from that, bro, we're near perfect. Like, to win 16 out of 18 and not win the league is ridiculous, isn't it? So Arteta has definitely shown us that he's got us to definitely a new standard. But mentality, man, it's all about mentality. We just have to just believe that, man. When we go to the Etihad in a couple of weeks, and I don't want to look past Tottenham, people saying, we have to win. For me, it's a must. We can't lose the game, that's for sure. We can't lose the game. Whether we draw, we win, fantastic, but we can't lose the game. But for me, it's more, I need to see the team with a certain, we need to show a certain confidence. We need to have a certain presence on the field. And like, it's hard to explain. These are some of the intangibles in football, right? But you can see it, like, you can smell it. When a team believes they actually meant to win.
You saw it a number of times from Klopp's Liverpool.
Just about to say that, bro.
When Liverpool and win, and City were concerned that Liverpool are coming to town, basically. And
they never won at Etihad. From what I know, from what I remember, I don't think they ever won at Etihad.
But maybe in the cup. cups, but they definitely won games there. I remember them winning a couple games.
I know
there,
that maybe in the Champions League, possibly on the cups. But anyway, when Liverpool, that's the big difference for me in mentality. When I say mentality, when Liverpool played Man City, whether home or away, yeah, especially away, Liverpool, bruv, you saw them, man, but they weren't scared of them, bruv. They weren't scared. They went toe to toe. They believed in themselves. They played with a certain confidence, a certain presence. When we play City, we just tend to cower. You can see the man them are just scared that. But like obviously last season we got a draw, amazing result, and I understand why we did that. But you could see the man them were just like, you could see the mentality was different, bro. We were petrified in the field, bro. And we took that point and we ran away out of there ASAP, bro. I just think for me, the next evolution is when we play these big games, even in the Champions League as well, we need to play them with a certain confidence, a certain swag. We just need to have more presence and more belief in the field. And it's hard to, in saying this, it's hard for me to kind of quantify it, but real football fans, you know it when you see it, bro. You know when your team's playing with a certain swagger and a certain confidence, bro, and not kind of cowering. And I think last season we just didn't have that confidence. And I think for me, the next step is a mentality thing, bro. It's not a skills thing. It's not whether we're capable. We've got the team, we've got the players, we've got the coach, we've got the tactics. The next step is mentality. We have to have the belief, man. The players have to look at Man City and not be scared. So, yeah.
No, I mean, I echo that. It's odd as well because it's like, how do you say no? Like, if you don't go to the Etihad and win, then you're not serious. Like, I mean,
yeah, of course not. I'll take a draw.
I mean, anything can happen, basically.
It's just how for me, it's more how we play. That's the biggest thing for me. It's how we play and how we look on that pitch. Like, I want to see the body language of the player is going to be important. I want to see that we belong there, basically. So that for me, that's the next biggest step for me.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, look, I have some belief in Arsenal, and I think actually that Arsenal are a better team than City. I just think that at the moment maybe Haaland is a different. And even Haaland, I mean, last season I don't think he was anything particularly scary. It's only we're saying this because he started the season so well, but it's been 3 games. He was barely outscored the likes of Palmer and Isaac and the rest of them last season. So I don't think that, he was, but he still is what Arsenal don't have, basically. But I think as a team, they were much more convincing. They were winning 4s and 5s and 6s a lot more frequently than City were doing that. And it's fire margins. You talk about the first half against Aston Villa. I'll talk about the first half at away at Nottingham Forest for City. And they ended up getting these wins, but Forest should have taken points off of them.
That one still scars. Chris Wood, I still think about, bruv. Chris Wood, man, he missed at least 2 or 3.
You look at Heung-min Son. You look at Heung-min Son 1v1.
Oh, Sonny miss. Oh no. Man, I'll tell you one thing, bruv. One thing about Son, bruv. 1-on-1, but he's one of the best in the game, bruv, man. He's one of the best in the game. The way he finished it, was
the Arsenal fans are bringing science, bruv, to prove the Son, bruv.
No. The way he did it was in such a way you can't say, oh no, but he tried. But we know Son's better than that, man.
But
come on, man. Easy food for him, but yeah, man. There's always.
I mean, but this is what I'm talking about, the margin. So you talk about, because when it all comes down to the detail, we're speaking in, Arsenal just got to raise it because City, not really. Like, it's just on another day, these things are completely different, and we're talking about one result for Arsenal, like 16 out of 18 they won. When you start getting to those margins, unless the game that they lost 4-0 or they lost it's just the more games you play, just by probability, the higher the chance of you losing one. Like eventually, whether it was Barcelona at their very best, if if they're gonna win on every Saturday, they're overwhelming favourites. But when you keep adding up the Saturdays, they're gonna lose eventually to somebody.
And bro, this is what is causing analysis paralysis, whatever the saying is, bro. Yeah. Because now all we're doing is Arsenal fans they're imploding, they're fighting against each other. Because we're looking at these fine margins and we're just trying to rationalize it. We're trying to think, why do you start Havertz in midfield against Aston Villa? That's why we lost the game. No.
Well, I don't like it. It hands an initiative, I think, to City as well.
100%,
in the sense that, because the way people are speaking about it, is they're just at this bar. They're thinking, listen, we just about made it on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you man start stepping back, thinking, oh well, we know they have to win. Of course they're gonna win. They're gonna boy, we'll take that. If you man think that we're gonna beat you because we ain't sure,
But we have to rationalize it. This is the way. This is the only way we can rationalize it.
Sure.
Pick the games.
We've won many late games ourselves where it's not been guaranteed at all. Like, so if teams actually had the confidence to actually fight them, because
they surrender.
I watched Man United against them, for example, in the FA Cup final. Maybe we had little to lose. That we didn't just about win that game. We stepped to them and we won fair and square. And the thing is, when you line up the 11s of the top few teams, City haven't got a massively superior team to anybody. I don't think
it's all here, but it's meant with
everyone.
It.
But if you start giving them 3 points before they've actually won them, then that is that's a lot, half of their work done. But maybe that used to happen to Manchester United as well. Sometimes we used to, our players have been saying that for years. But we used to look at guys in the tunnel and think these guys,
game's done. You see, have a lot of the Premier League teams, but when they're looking at their week, but they just think, City, they get the 3 points. City have won the game before.
I didn't like Gary Neville used to say things like that. Yeah, obviously they've got City next week. We write that off. No, this is the game. City ain't writing it off. They're thinking we need to win this. We hope that we can win this game. And the opponents are saying, give it to them already. No, let them go and win it, and have to fight, because these are they're not gimmies at all.
But that's what I'm talking about, body language as well. I remember that. I look at Aston Villa. They played in a short period of time, bruv. I think City and Arsenal, and look at how they played at the Emirates, bruv. When they came to the Emirates, bruv, they were fighting tooth and nail, bruv, man. When they went to the Etihad, bruv, they just pretty much just laid over and just surrendered, and that's what a lot of teams do with City. They just lose and think, this is long, man. These men are gonna win it anyway, basically. So that's bruv. It's when you're in the title race,
that's what United are suffering from, I think, because at the moment, again, I think that our team, when everybody's fit, is a match for pretty much any team in the Premier League, first 11. But one of the things now that happens here is that teams are actually really trying to beat us, in a way that it's like they wouldn't have before. They come to Old Trafford and they play in a certain way. So eventually, if they sit back and wait to be beaten, they will be eventually. And if you come out to play and think, okay, well, people are getting points, so now we're just going to try and land blows on them, then every now and then they're going to get something.
It's all in the mind, bruv. If more teams went to City with more enthusiastic attitude, bruv, and people started to see actually these teams getting points, bruv, everyone will change their perception. Everyone will change
there's a handful of teams, for example, that I know don't respect City in the way that others, and teams. I'm not talking about the Liverpools. I'm talking about Crystal Palace. I'm talking about Wolves. I'm talking about Brentford. Those teams don't respect City, and it shows. And it shows in the results as well. They go there, they go to Etihad and win. They win at home, they win away, and it happens consistently. Not once or twice, but consistently. And it's like, that's it. Their managers seem to be able to get them up for those games, psychologically, to think listen, these are 11 guys where we're going to step to them. And sometimes City might win, and it's not going to be easy, and sometimes they don't. That's it.
True.
Even Villa, to be fair, because you mentioned Villa, but I feel like Villa do give them
at home. Away.
I remember seeing John Duran got a goal. I can't remember this result last season.
They rolled over, man. Well, don't talk about this stuff, bro. I remember it bit by play, but I remember all these games, but man, because they came.
I remember John Duran getting a goal away. I'm a big fan of John Duran.
They rested half their team, bruv. They rested their main players, bruv, man. They stayed there for us. They stayed there for the Emirates, bruv, man. Clowns, bruv.
Fair enough, man.
All right. With that said, should we roll on to this week's bets?
Right. I guess I'll kick this one off.
Yeah, I was kicking off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on my same team, BBK, basically, all day, Shorty and them, man. Frisco, Maximum, Skepta, JME, add me to the list, Rosie, that's BBK, So, and, I see a lot of men doing this thing, but none of them really flex like BBK, so. But, jokes aside, basically, I'm continuing my early season approach with regards to, my handicaps. And to be honest, the rationale behind it, I mean, it's one of the bets that I've been doing for a few seasons, but the rationale behind it largely at the moment is just literally just it being early in the season and just uncomplicating. As the season progresses, other patterns will begin to reveal themselves to me. But right now it's very, very hard to start jumping on complicated patterns of who's gonna, do what they're down to the details, corners, fouls, shots. Like, I just think it's been a couple of games. I can't really see how people are coming just yet. So I'm just trying to keep it a bit more broad. I did a slip early in the week, like on Tuesday or so. I wanted to get in early because one of the tips we will say 100 to 1 is, it's how the odds work generally. Bookies move. It's simple terms. Bookies move odds based on activity. So, simple as if Man City are playing, I don't know, Charlton Athletic, and the whole country starts betting on Charlton Athletic, like maybe the odds will start falling. And basically, I say that to say that the earlier you get on a bet, the likelihood is you get better odds. So if you do your slip, for example, on Tuesday, Wednesday instead of Saturday morning, the odds will probably be better. Those games do tend to drop as more people place their bets just naturally. It's a gamble sometimes, but that's literally what we're doing. So it's a gamble in the sense that there's a lot of detail that you're not sure of. Who's injured? Is he going to be fit? We don't know. We'll wait to the press conference on Friday. Is this player going to start or not? So I've been keeping it broad. So I've been going with I've got another handicap slip. I've got one that starts tomorrow at 3. I've got a Friday one as well, which should be starting somewhere in Shanghai in the next hour, man. So yeah. Well, Godspeed to Shenhua. But I'm going with handicap. I've got 2 slips in the bag so far. We'll break it down on our next show in more detail. But I'm going to lean on the handicap, probably mix it up again with both teams to score 2.5s, do a combination of the two. And I'll really analyze the games. And as I say, I'll let the games talk to me and tell me what they want me to do. That's my approach normally every weekend.
So heavy on the handicap this week, yeah?
For sure on the handicap. I've also tried to, another thing in my approach, certainly early season, is generally I like to keep my slips as short as possible. So handicaps allow me to do that as well. One of my approaches with gambling is like, I always have to remind myself. We talk a lot about science, and there is the strategy, but you have to always remind yourself. I always tell myself, at the end of the day, we're gambling, bro. Like, if they don't win by 3, then I lose. Like, that's it. This is gambling. I'm gambling. So really, if you're gonna do that, sometimes you have to gamble, and that's what the handicaps allow. In a sense of, instead of trying to think of all of these guys now, I think, look, these guys are gonna win by a few goals and keep the slip short, basically. And they don't. They do. But invariably, when it comes to games, you just look at the science of games, and a lot of games, even mundane mid-table games, the team's going to win. It's 50-50 whether you're going to just about win, or a lot of teams are going to win comfortably for whatever reason. A 2-0 win is not uncommon, even without just amongst the top teams. I think maybe Palace will beat Leicester 2-0, for example, tomorrow or something, just comfortably, or Fulham will just win 2-0, just so. And the odds on those kind of ones, apart when you're coming away from like the City and stuff, are very, very good. So just if you think Fulham are going to beat Leicester, if you're a bit more bold and go to like for them to beat Leicester by more than 1 goal, you start getting like a 12-5 or something, and it's just like it's ridiculous. It's like it's a no-brainer to me. Like they might win by 1, but if you're that confident that they're going to win, then they could easily win by more than 1.
Yeah, it's true.
But
I guess we'll break it more down in the show exclusive to Patreon. Obviously, the YouTube T's and C's are a bit techie, so we've got to be careful with that. So jump onto the Patreon if you want to see that content. Nams, what you got for this week?
I tried it out in the internationals and didn't get too far, to be honest with you. But I'll be going for a player to foul in each half, basically. So I've gone for 6 games, and I've picked a player from each team. And I've got a certain site that I use that gives me all the stats that I need, so I know who the heavy foulers are. And I've just done a 6-fold basically. That put £10 in it, and boy, the returns are plentiful, should we say? We'll get into that in the Patreon and the science behind it. Like, we'll show you the slip as well, like, man. So
just to break it down quickly. So when you say a foul, you don't mean a card, just a foul.
So let me break it down. So what I've done is I picked a player from I picked a player from each team, 6 games in the Premier League, and I've gone for them to foul in the first half.
Oh, in the
Just
first half.
only,
The
yeah.
first
First
half,
half.
okay.
Because realistically, I was doing foul in both halves before, and I realized a lot of the times, a lot of the dirt's done in the first half. A lot of the dirt's done in the first half, like it's done in the first half, like nothing happens in the second half, really. Like a lot of the dirt's done in the first half, like you know what I'm saying, like so. Like second half, like it calms down, the tempo of the game changes. You know what I'm saying? So what I've started realizing is, and I saw the internationals as well, weren't too far off, bruv. Like so, I've gone for the main fouls, bruv. The main foulers, like, and yeah, I've gone for the obviously certain players for the Southampton game, the Crystal Palace game, Fulham, Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Bournemouth. And I've gone for it's not rocket science. I've gone for all the main guys who have done considerable fouls this season, and the stats back it up. Like so, I haven't gone into this blind. Like this is very much stats backed as well. Like so. Let's test it out, man. See what it does. Like, but yeah, just a player for each team to have one foul in the first half, basically.
Cool.
So two players each game. That's it.
2 players each game. Key.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll break it down properly on the Patreon. The Patreon is free, by the way, for now, so people can jump on the Patreon and join. I'll create a chat group in there as well, so people can just chat, talk to us as well. But I guess with that, any closing statements?
Up the Arsenal. That's what I'm gonna say.
So
let's get paid this week. Let's get paid this weekend.
Yeah, man. It'll be lovely. It'll be lovely. Definitely.
All right. Peace out, lads. And yeah, we'll see you on the next show. Peace.